Hello, students. This lesson is about reading on the run, skimming and scanning. Now, first of all, reading on the run is not the same as regular reading. Okay, in regular reading, we read the whole text and we're reading for main ideas and details. We're using our higher comprehension because we want to understand everything. So you might be translating words. You're trying to understand every sentence of the whole text. Therefore, you're probably reading slowly and very attentively. Okay, but that's not reading on the run. This is regular reading. But what we're going to talk about in this lesson is reading on the run. So it's not going to be regular reading. So with reading on the run, the skimming and the scanning are two strategies we can use to read much more quickly, to find certain things. So with skimming, you use skimming when you want to get an overall general idea or gist of the text. Gist is it just means the most general, bottom line, basic, main idea of the text. Okay, so we can remember that gist goes with skimming because they both have an I. Skimming has the I, whereas scanning, it has an I over here, but it doesn't have the I at the beginning. So, and gist has an I. So that will help us remind ourselves that skimming is for the gist of the text. It's the main idea, but we're not really looking for details. We're not looking for anything specific. So the comprehension of the details is much less. Okay, but when we're scanning, now we're looking for specific pieces of information. So we maybe are trying to locate a detail, and so it must be very accurate. So that's the difference between these two strategies. So first of all, let's talk about skimming, which remember that's looking for the gist. Okay, when you're looking at a whole text, it's good not just to pay attention to the body of the text, the paragraphs, and what it says in the paragraphs, but also to look for the extra textual information. That would be things like the title, which will give us the topic of the text usually, and also subtitles and headings, which help us see how the text is organized into different sections. Okay, there might also be pictures, captions, which tell us more about the pictures or tell us about boxes that are on the side of the text. There might be tables or graphs with more information. It's good to know if those are there. So you should look over the whole text and find all of these things. And also be aware of the publishing details, such as the date of when the article was published and who the author is, and maybe even what journal that the article was published in. So all of these things give you an overall understanding of the text. You don't need to spend a lot of time looking at the details, but it's good to get that overall gist, that overall feeling of what is this whole text going to be about. Also, when you are skimming, it is important to at least read the first and the last paragraphs. Even if you don't have time to read the whole text, reading the first and the last paragraphs will often give you a lot of the main idea, a lot of the information that's most important in the text. The author will usually put the purpose of the article in the first part of the text, in the first paragraph, in the introduction. And they might restate it at the end in the conclusion, in the very last paragraph. So you should read the first and last paragraph completely. Find the purpose. See if the author talks about the main idea of the text in the first paragraph or the last paragraph. They might have a thesis that they give. They might put a summary in the first paragraph or the last paragraph, or both. Sometimes authors will put their conclusion in the first or last paragraph. Usually the recommendations are given in the last paragraph. So all of this very important information you should usually find in the first and last paragraphs. So even though you don't read the entire text and you don't read all of the information of every paragraph, you should read the first and the last paragraphs for skimming, so that you get that general main idea, the gist of the text. And now let's talk about scanning. When you're scanning, you are trying to find specific information. So you need to know, let's see, what information am I looking for? Am I looking for a date, or a specific number, or percentage, or somebody's name, or a place? So as you're looking over the text, your eyes are looking for numbers, for dates and percentages, or sometimes it's helpful for your eyes to just be looking for those capital letters, because capital letters start a person's name, and they also usually start a place name. So that can help you. Another way to help you locate specific information is to notice transition words, because transition words help us see relationships or connections between paragraphs, and then that might clue us where to find specific details. So transition words would be like however, which tell us that there's a contrast being talked about, or additionally, which means there's going to be more information about the same thing, or similarly, which is a comparison that's being made. These might give us clues as to where to find the specific details we're looking for. It's also good to look for special terms. These would be like technical words that are being defined. They might be giving a definition. Sometimes you can find them because they're being italicized in the text, and that helps you, your eyes locate them more easily. Or they might be bolded in the text, or they might have dashes around them, or quotation marks. So when your eyes are looking over the text and you see these things happening inside the text, it's good to take note of that. And also that could help you find what you're looking for. Another thing that you might need is when you see this or these or those, these are reference words that talk about something else. Okay, they're words we use instead of the names of the people or the things that have already been mentioned in the text. So it's good if you find words like this, figure out what they're talking about, because that might help you locate the specific information that you're looking for. So those are our tips for skimming and scanning. Good luck.